Good evening. Hey everyone. We got 8 people chilling. Just gotta make sure this audio's good. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. Who's chilling? We got Tobias, Tom, you there? Nice to see you guys. So, yep, gonna be breaking down my submission for the Pwnisher challenge today. Who else we got here? M3. I'm just gonna call you M3. And hey, oh, Victor Ju, nice. Picaro 21. Hey, how's it going? Hey everyone, nice to see you here. Yeah, so today I'm going to be breaking down my submission for the Pwnisher Alternate Realities challenge. Let me just add a display capture here as well. Display 1. Okay. Let me just chuck that in there also. So, yeah. Will this work? Yay, cool. Yeah. So obviously I made a little breakdown on my YouTube. Oh, can you put the mic volume up a bit? Yes, I can. Donde está? Mic. Oh, okay, I'll put it up on the mic. Just tell me if it gets too loud. Is this a lot better, Tobias? Just let me know. Yeah. So anyway, I made. It's probably because I'm facing away from my mic there. Let me just fix it. It's right in front of me. Okay. So I did make a small little short breakdown. Oh, that's perfect. Nice one. Okay. So yeah, I made a short breakdown, which is on YouTube. Yep. Just giving a wee walkthrough of the process of building out the environment, adding stuff in, characters, kind of everything else, grass, rocks, texture and everything, and then the last bit is post-processing, which was done in After Effects. Yeah, and it seemed to work pretty well, because, yeah, everyone's given me really great feedback about it, and thank you anyone who's here that gave me feedback. I love you guys. The start text looks like it's from an old, yeah, it's really, yeah, it's the text from built into the timer, so yeah, it's a bit poop. But anyway, into Blender we go. Who's that? Daniel. Hey man, how's it going? Okay, so first of all, someone there who was asking for tips. Picaro. First tip I'm gonna give you there, bro, is get this character for your world scene, because then you can work to scale. You can find this character on one of Blender Guru's videos, architecture video. If you just look for like Blender Guru architecture, you'll find this base model in the description, and it's extremely handy. But let's go. Let's open up my file here. It might take a little while, and I'm hoping the stream doesn't lose any. I hope it stays pretty good. Oh, okay, because this is a pretty big file. I've kind of condensed it down here. So first of all, I'm going to walk you through how I made the environment, and then we'll look at all the other bits. So pretty much go through stages like I did in that breakdown video. So yes, obviously we have here some nice Dragon Ball Z looking landscape. This is the rock that Goku's carrying, or dragging along the ground. I'll get to this bit later on. So for this, I just went basically and looked for reference, and yeah, a lot of Dragon Ball Z have these very tall, like mountainous towers, like almost like you'd find in like the Grand Canyon or something like that, all over the place. So I went with that. I actually ended up finding one. Actually, if I turn my display capture back on, I'll pull up what I found. Just pull a window over here. No one slag me off for using Firefox, please. I've been using Firefox for as long as I can remember. So yeah, my process of finding assets to use is Sketchfab to start off with. So if I go Sketchfab and type in Dragon Ball, let's see what comes up. Okay, we got a bunch of stuff here. I was looking more for some landscape assets, something that kind of resembled what I was looking to make. So I could have taken this as well. I ended up making Planet Kai myself. But I was inspired by this in the beginning. I want to have this somewhere in the scene, the Kami house, because it's classic. But I had to make a few decisions. I also want to put some Dragon Balls in the scene, but we'll get to that later on. Yeah, so my process was basically, let's see what assets I've got, and then see what I can make out of them. I think a few of the assets, like I took this Majin Buu, there's one of the Beerus models that I got from here. But the models you get from here will be kind of hit and miss on the quality and whether they're going to be animatable or not, and what level you can animate them to. So a lot of the models that I found were actually like static meshes. So like, say the hand here on this one was actually part of the same mesh of the clothing. So I don't know. I'm guessing that was for 3D printing or something, but yeah. Will this be on YouTube? Yes, it will be on YouTube, Picaro. I was going to stream to YouTube today, but I've only just started the account recently and I didn't enable it for streaming, so I have to wait 24 hours. Yeah. So basically this is I found this. I saw this and I was like, oh, that looks exactly like something out of Dragon Ball Z. It's the wrong planet, but that kind of just makes it an Easter egg. This is from the planet Namek. Doom. But it's just got this classic Dragon Ball Z feel, so I downloaded this and brought it into Blender. So let's go back to Blender. Yep, you can basically see this is basically the original mesh. Oh, this one is this is basically the original one, and I just broke it up and like went into edit mode and grabbed some bits and moved them around with proportional editing, and made a few different iterations of them. Took some other bits and just kind of placed it around. My idea was to create something working with something where you can see the depth. So if I scrub through here, you can see that there's foreground elements, especially if I turn on the particles of this. Oh no, that's grass. Okay, if I turn the rocks on, so now we're getting this like a lot of depth just from here, because you can see this moving at a different parallax, this is moving at a different parallax, and so are the rocks here. So you're getting an instant kind of breaking up of the scene. You've almost got like four levels and in the background. So you've kind of got 5 levels. This first level, this bit here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they all move slightly differently. So it really gives you that feeling of depth, which was something I was really keen to bring into it. I did have another iteration, like something before I decided to do Dragon Ball Z, and I had some really close to the camera. I had some poles that were going past, and it just gave you that idea of depth in the scene. It was quite nice, because I think when I first looked at the scene, I realized, wow, there's a lot of space between the camera and where your main character is. And I was pretty sure that one of the things they were looking for is how you fill up the foreground and how you separate the foreground from the background and all these other aspects. So yes, sorry, name your particle systems. maybe one day. They're kind of named, like here. This one's grass and this one's rocks. So they're not named here, but the particle systems are named, kind of. Let me off on that one. Yes, so first of all, we got the different levels going from the foreground to the background, creating a sense of depth and scale, a little bit of scale. Secondly, as it kind of gets to the end, you've got a rule of thirds going, with the rock taking up like this first little chunk, then you have the character in the middle, and then you've got some other stuff going on this side. It only really works mostly towards the end of the shot, but again, another little rule of thirds going on, and I've tried to keep the rule of thirds with here, breaking it up here at the end of the foreground, which is moving quite fast, and then from about here is the middle, and then you've got the top. So working quite neatly within the rule of thirds, a few different ways, breaking it down into levels of parallax and background. Yeah, so let's just jump into I'll go into rendered view, but I'm hoping it doesn't slow the stream down, because yeah, we all use Blender. We all know. So these obviously are not the original textures of the asset that I found. I just ended up slapping some kind. I mean, it's not really that well done. Just some stretch textures everywhere, but I managed to hide most of them. But yeah, I just chucked a nice kind of rock texture on it. It looks quite nice. Got the water here. It's a really simple setup for making a water shader. It's literally just bump. Just a noise texture into the bump. It's animatable. Is this actually animated? It might be, but you don't see it in the final. Yeah, a little bit of bump on the water, and that looks pretty nice. It's not so visible anyway, so, but it just gives this nice extra feeling of breaking up the geometry of the scene. Hey Barat, thanks man for the glitch lit. Yeah, so that was how I was working with here, and then I decided that we're on that original mesh. Actually, I should probably bring that back up. Let me just find it again. Boom. Let's go Sketchfab. Yeah, so this already had kind of defined areas for the textures to be. So I just went, before I applied the rock texture here, I just went in to edit mode and selected all the bits where the grass were and used that as a guide for my particle systems. I also, these trees were separated, so I took these trees and just took them out to the side and played about with them. We'll get to that in a minute. Let me just hide that for now. And hide this for now. Ooh, yay, now you can see me. It's weird. It's weird. Yes. So that was pretty much how I went about it for the landscape. I'm going to go into edit mode. Now, the biggest thing for me when you're doing really big landscapes like this, especially with Dragon Ball Z, like there's always grass everywhere. There's always just some grass on top of everything down the sides, and nothing looks like grass. Like nothing quite looks like grass except for grass. So I had to add some grass particle systems. Let me just turn off the. Oh, there's no children. Okay. Let me just reduce the viewport amount to 25. Okay. So, on actually speaking about this grass, this is contained in my asset pack. So anyone, you've got the psychedelic thing from your mom on. I do. Arriving Grace, I do. The psychedelic lights behind me. Yes, they're my own, my precious. Yes, talking about the grass. First of all, I guess I should say and post this in the chat. My asset pack. I'm gonna give it to everyone. I was gonna give it away when I hit 1,000 followers on Instagram, but it didn't happen. So I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. I'm just gonna give it out. Andre's here as well. Hey Andre, and well, Hassan's here as well. I'm not gonna call you by your name because it's kind of crazy. Yeah, let me find the. Oh, Hassan, actually, you can do it for me, bro. Can you hunt down, or was it Hassan? Or whoa, who's? Oh, fine. I'll find it myself. I'll do it myself. I'll just give out this asset pack for free, and I'll go into it later on and show you guys what's inside. Oh, someone's asking for the link to the stream as well, so I will do this also. Sorry guys, let me just copy, paste, done. Okay, and now let's find the asset pack, which should just be here somewhere. Abstract, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna post this in the chat. Take it, do what you will with it. I'll go into it in a little while, and I'll open up the file and show you what's inside there. There you go. Go to that Google Drive and download the assets and use them as you please. Probably the best thing in there is the grass. So like there's 40 different individual grasses in there, just for a nice amount of variation. And if I do say so myself, they look quite nice when applied into a scene. Okay, see you later, Hassan. Have a nice one. Yeah, so There's grass everywhere in this scene. Let me just close this down. Sweet. Here we go. Amateur streamer. Here we go. So if I chuck this back to 100%, yeah, you can see there's really a lot. So just in this one foreground, I have 50,000 grass particles, and I think it's pretty much the same or more on the rest. So this one's got another 15,000. Here we've got another 5,000 because that's not in the foreground too much. This one's got like 100,000. Another 100,000 there. So yeah, there's a lot of grass particles in here. So it was quite slow rendering, but it looks good. I'm happy. I think it's better to. I could have cheated it and just done a grass texture for stuff in the background, but nothing quite looks like geometry. So I think it's always worth just biting the bullet, taking those extra long render times, and putting as much grass in there as you can, and rocks and whatever you can, whatever makes your scene feel more full. Okay, I'm just gonna now move on to so like you can see here, this is a big scene. There's a lot of elements here. There's a lot of collections, a lot of elements. There's just so much going on. Okay, now I'll start to bring in like the other background elements. First, I will bring in some like the capsule corp. Again, this is another asset that I found online. If I just go into render texture preview mode, you'll see that. What's it? Oh, 13 people chilling. This is so cool. Yeah, so this was just another asset I found on Sketchfab. Looks really nice. I really wanted Capsule Corp to be there because it's quite, I don't know, it's recognizable. So yeah, stuck that in here just to take up this little bit of space. I also added in, if I can find it, I'm looking for Kami's Lookout. Yep, here we go. It's gonna take a second to texture. So this I found again as an asset, but Blender, there we go. Yeah, this is an asset, but it had no textures, so I just removed all the castle that was on top of it and textured it by hand, and I'm pretty happy with it. Looks pretty cool, nice and old. This is some bog standard Ian Hubert style texturing, just slapping an image texture on it. I mean, it is literally, this is, where are the textures? Yep, here. There's a few on there. Like, I think this is the most complex one of all, which is not really that complex at all. So, oh, Adrian Death, hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining up. Yeah, so this was some pretty simple texturing for this, and I just slapped this at the bottom. Didn't look so good, so I just grabbed an abstract from textures.com, like an overlay, and I think it's just like an abstract stuff to use for roughness, so that when we're here, when the light's on it, it looks quite nice. So if I go into rendered mode, yeah, I mean, I guess you're not even getting the details, so it was probably pointless adding that, but all in all, this turned out really nice. I was really happy with the texture. Especially how I'm going for some kind of mix between stylized, I don't know, anime, stylized, and slight realism. I needed to kind of nail the textures on this, because it's not a big focal point, but it's there, you know, and it's lit up here, so you want to see all these little reflections and stuff. Yeah. Wait, are there line on red texture are procedural? No, they're not. They are just a texture. If I open the shader editor, boom, boom. If I add an image preview, let me just come out because my laptop is getting super noisy. So I believe this is that texture. If I go to tab. Okay, let me just type it in. What's it called? Tiles. Okay. Tiles. yeah, so it's just this. It's just some floor tiles that I just went and looked at pictures of the actual lookout and found this, and then just plugged into color ramp and added the red to it, so then it looks nice. There you go. If there's any questions going forward, just feel free to ask. I will try to answer. Yeah, I don't really play around. This was a big project, and I wanted to focus more on filling it out with characters, animated elements. So I wanted to really get done with texture and setting the scene really quickly, so I could focus on the foreground and getting all these little Easter eggs that I've planted around. So yeah, when it comes to texturing, quick and dirty is fine for me. But it still takes a bit of playing around. Like all these, you can see the lines coming down here. I had to line all these up in the UV editor and stuff, and it's not quick work. Okay, on to my favorite, Planet Kai. So my first tests of the scene, this was actually the foreground ball, or whatever this is, the ball thing. But it didn't feel right. It was too close. It felt too close, and yeah, it wasn't great. And there was also this dead space left up here. So I decided to bring this in and move this up here. So let's take a wee look at this. Again, some pretty basic texturing and even some stretching of the textures here, but you don't notice it from the camera, so that's fine. 17 viewers. I am 17 viewers. I'm seeing 15, but that's fine. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing good. I'm gonna drink this absolutely disgusting energy drink because I'm probably gonna run out of energy very quickly. What are you drinking? Okay. Yeah, so I've got some random grass texture on here. Yeah, I made a little ring road going around the planet. Brought in and found this asset of a car. Chucked that in there, and I stole a couple of... I can't see the rest of my scene because I have not got the view turned up. Okay, there we go. From Capsule Corp, I just took a few of their houses and plonked them there. And it looks, yeah, looks pretty good. And obviously the car is animated going around here, so it's just another small little Easter egg. And if anyone watches Dragon Ball Z, you'll know exactly. I've got water too, guys. Chill out. And it could be Bang Energy that I'm drinking next time. I'm gonna get it. But I needed some energy. I needed some sugar. I don't drink sugar too often, so I'm probably gonna get crazy up in here. Yeah, so these were my kind of main setting of the background. I just wanted something here, something here, something here, and then play with mixing just a few little Easter eggs everywhere. To be honest, everything's an Easter egg, really, because the landscape is from a different planet in Dragon Ball Z. Everything. Like, this is an Easter egg, this is an Easter egg, this is an Easter egg. I love Easter, and I love eggs, so there you go. Okay, moving on. Moving onwards and upwards. Let me just close a few of these, tidy this up a little bit. What shall we look at next? I'm going to bring in the clouds. Boom. Yes, the clouds are image textures, because why the hell would you not use image textures when they're so fun? Yeah, just some pretty standard clouds. Again, textures.com, but I played around with them because I wanted, obviously, some in front of here, because this is meant to be way up in the clouds, some in front, and then some coming from behind it, so again, giving you another kind of suggesting more depth there, you know. And then, yeah, obscuring a little bit of Kami's planet, because that was up in the clouds as well. Yeah, I mean, pretty standard. I think there's only like four clouds in all. Yeah, but yeah, one thing I didn't do that I wish I'd done is parent these clouds to the camera as well, because in the render it looks a bit weird because this is moving with the camera. This thing is moving with the camera, so it looks static, but the clouds are moving like away from it, so it doesn't quite make sense. Like, this cloud here should be moving at the same speed. So that was a little error that I made, but I was quite happy with it. Let me hide clouds for now. Oh no, I'll build it up as we go. We'll see. I did initially have some volume in there. How long did I work on this scene? RIO. I know who you are, RIO. You're getting me to say funny things. How long did I work on this? Quite a lot, to be honest. In my submission, I said about 120 hours because I'm in Blender pretty much 12 hours a day. So I just halved that, and I spent about 3 weeks working on this. Admittedly, most of it was hunting down textures and then, hunting down models and then retexturing them and making them animatable, if possible. Just working out what I could fit in, then rendering and then rearranging things, because I did have an original version of it that I wasn't happy with, so then came back in and changed things. Doing the rope simulation and the dust particles down here. So about 120 hours is my guess, my guesstimate. I kind of wish they'd said beforehand that they wanted to know how long we spent on it, because I might have just timed myself or paid more attention to it. But yeah, it was quite a while. Definitely quite a while. Before I move on, I'm gonna show you what I did for trees. If they're still here. I have so many projects. You can see this is file number version 6. There's 7 versions of this file, and for some reason some of them have the trees in them, some of them don't. The particles work both ways, but some of them just don't have the actual trees. So I'm just gonna enable them on this, and we can look at them that way. Trees, maths. Yeah, so this is my trees. They are just the trees that came with this landscape, and I can't really hide the particles on them. But I just put a particle system with some branches on it, and yeah, Bob's your uncle. It's literally just a particle system. They look pretty janky from here, but looks quite nice from here, from the camera view. So I just retextured the trees with some wood, proper wood texture, chucked the particle system on here, and then used that model, joined it all together, and used that as a particle system. Yeah, there's a lot of trees in the scene. Bring everything back. So there's trees there. Let me hide these clouds again because they're getting away. What's it? Got 20 versions of your challenge. Victor has 20 versions of his challenge. Triple. Your first version was post-apocalyptic. Where did you get the leaf texture from? Textures.com again. If you ain't using textures.com, you ain't using Blender correctly. This is the best website. We'll bring it up. Textures.com. Sponsored by Textures.com. Yeah, here you have everything. In overlays, you have some surface imperfections, which are really nice. I believe one of these is what I used in a lot of places in my scene. I think it's this one. I use it in a lot of scenes that I do. Where did you get? Okay, so if you just go here and type in branch, I think it was that I typed in. Yeah, and you'll get a bunch of stuff. One of these ones I chose. I think it's probably even this one. I just bring it as an image as planes. And yeah, just use it as particle system. Just make sure your origin point is down at the tip of the branch here, and then you're good to go. Let me hide this. And then yeah, so these balls on top, I just shrunk them down, and then made the particle system so it was about this size. So yeah, looks pretty good. I'm more than happy with it. My face is gone. I will bring it back right now. Boom. Hello. I'm here. I'm definitely here. Barat, what you saying? My first version was kind of like the person walking through a portal, but the idea ended up being above my knowledge. Well, I guess, yeah, I mean, if you ever get stuck doing things, like jump into William Landgren's Discord server, man. There's loads of people in there. more than willing to help you out. I'm in there almost 24/7, so yeah, jump into the voice chat. You can share your screen and get some help. If you find something's above your skill set, it's always good to get some help, and that's a great place to hang out. So definitely do it. Yeah. So moving on, let us. What should we go next? We've done the clouds, done the trees. Let's go with. I guess that's kind of it. Oh, there was yeah. I'm gonna bring in Shenron, the dragon. Boom, there he is. Gonna have to move it in the timeline. In fact, I'll show you this. I'll show you what this looks like. If I just get rid of a few other things just now. Get rid of the landscapes, all these things. Water can go away. Chinese lookout can go. Okay, so if I just hide this lightning for a second. This is the animation of the dragon appearing. So now this is this is a horror show, which is whatever is happening here off screen that you do not get to see is an absolute horror show. Because I added him, he's got like an armature up here because I animated him a little bit, but then I realized, oh, I need him to appear from below. So I was like, okay, I'll just drop him down, and then hopefully you don't see it when like any of this when he comes up. Oh, Barat, your gas can. Ah, bro. Hey, bro. You know, yeah, okay, that's cool. Nice to have you here, bro. 16 people? This is crazy. So, then, when Shenron was in his position, maybe I can play it. We can see some of the animation. Yeah, so you can see a little bit of the animation going on here. On his head. I did have his arms animated a little bit, but I think it's gone too slow for you to see. So then I got a curve and just matched it roughly to his shape, because I went back and I looked at some episodes of Dragon Ball Z, and when he gets summoned, it seems to like form out of light. It's like light shoots all around and then it turns into him. So I kind of wanted to recreate that somehow, and that is exactly what I did. So I created this thing, which is just a cylinder, large cylinder, subdivided a bunch, some decimation, some displacement on it. I created some like shitty little lightning bolts that act as a particle system on it, and if I play this, it just comes up, forms Shenron, and then I believe as he puts his head up, yeah, it just shrinks down and goes out. So that was the animation of him, all these kind of stuff. Maybe I can go to rendered view here. And yeah, so these are, you can't really see these at all. Definitely in the final render, and you cannot see this thing in the final render either. It was looking, I kind of preferred the Shenron appearance before I put all the crazy effects on it, but it seems feels more Dragon Ball Z now, so I'm happy with that. Tobias is asking what my favorite mushroom is, and my answer is the poopy one. The poopy ones is my favorite. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, moving on from mushrooms. So yeah, got Shenron in, coolest guy in all of Dragon Ball Z. Uh-oh, is this gonna break my? Oh, did I just hide everything else? Probably. Oh yeah, I did. Oh no. Oh no. Blender's going slow. But it is Blender, so should be used to this by now. Okay, yeah, so there we go. First of the background characters. So he kind of just, yeah, like appears. And I had some lightning as well. So some lightning comes down. Probably gonna have to go into rendered mode. Cool, yeah. So some lightning comes down. I basically tried to recreate the as close to as I could. Oh, sorry, I missed. Where did you get the dragon? The dragon is from Sketchfab as well. It wasn't easy because the pose he's in for most of the shot was how he was posed. I considered trying to straighten him out and try and have him flying around the scene, but I didn't want too much visual noise going on. Something I'm always trying to stay wary of is visual noise. If I've got too much visual noise, it can work against you or it can work for you. It depends on what your scene's like. My scene's quite simple and I wanted to just have it looking really nice. So I didn't want to have too much craziness going on. There's still a lot going on, but I've managed to just keep it small. So there's all these small details around instead of like, you know, there could have been a whole heap of stuff going on over here, and then a whole heap of stuff here, and then a whole heap of stuff in the foreground, and it's too crazy, too much. I don't like it. What is this thing? What is this thing? Oh, I don't know. Okay, so yeah, some lightning comes down. I was working off of reference from a Dragon Ball Z scene where Shenron gets summoned. So in that, lightning comes down, strikes it, and then this big stream of light comes up, which also. I'll show you that if it allows me to. Boom, right, so now there's a beam of light coming up, but you can't see it because it's hidden somewhere. And I'm going to have to find it. It might actually be here in volume. Well, this is where we get problems. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, so there was some volume in the scene as well that I ended up not keeping in. I wish I had, but I had some issues with the renders of it and it just didn't look right, so I kept it out. But this is another fantastic way just to break your scene up into different levels. It's just adding a little bit of volumetrics coming from behind something to show that these are separated, and then again, I've done it just the same thing basically both times. Yeah, that is not there. So where the hell is it? I have to read all these things. Ah, there we go. This is a really cool asset that I've got, which is, I bought it on GitHub or something like that. So it's actually engines. It's like jet streams from engines. Pretty organized. I had to be, man. I mean, the amount of stuff in the scene, I had to try and keep it really organized. So yeah, I have a butt ton of collections here, but it did help out a lot. Definitely worth working like this, or at least getting to that point. Like I usually don't do it until later on, till it's getting. I'll just build everything in one collection and then later on come back and sort it all out. But yeah, so these are like engine jet streams for coming out the back of engines. It's an asset on GitHub. Maybe I could find it quickly and show you what it is. I can hear my computer revving up like a bloody motorbike, so I'm gonna just put it back to normal view. Okay, GitHub. I bought this a while ago, so I've had it for a long time. It's Git, G-I-T, okay. And we want Blender Ion Engine. Engine. Is this even where you buy stuff like this? Ion Engine Blender. Let's do that. Blender. Add-on. I guess. It's not an add-on, but it's... Is it GitHub? It is good. Collections are super useful and makes your project less cluttered. There you go. There's a health tip from Triple. It must be this. No, it's Unreal Engine? What? This is not at all. Maybe it's not GitHub. Maybe it was just Blender Market. Sci-fi plasma engines and exhaust. This is the one. This is a cool asset. Like, highly recommend it. $25. It's not the cheapest, but I use these so much, and all the colors are changeable. You can animate them so they blast out. That's what I used basically. I just took one of these, played around with it. What did you use for the water? Normal? Yeah, just bump, bro. I'll show you that again. It's just a bump map. If I open the shader editor, it is the simplest thing you ever did see. Boom. Just a noise texture into a bump map, and then we get some nice, reasonably realistic looking water. It's hard to, I mean, it doesn't look great animated, but yeah, it looks cool. Triple normal water. My water is pretty normal. It could have been less normal than it is, but okay. Anywho, yeah. So this was the Ion engine. I just scaled it up and just had it animated so it's going up. I wish I could show you it, but it ain't gonna be running anywhere near a reasonable speed. This has got a crazy texture setup, but it's got it tells you here, move, location X to move. Okay, it's pretty simple and straightforward. To move noise. There we go. Pretty straightforward, like. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Okay. Oh, hey, Andre, not Chris. You're not me? You sure you're not me? Mango. Ugh. Okay. Gonna hide all this craziness. Okay, so yeah, we got the dragon. I'm just gonna call it the dragon from now on. Okay, we got the dragon, we got the landscape. I guess I can add back in the other background stuff. Boom, boom, and I need Kami's lookout. There we go. Okay, sweet, nice, it's looking good, huh? So now if I go through, yeah, we can see how it kind of came together. Okay, so probably the next thing would be characters. If I'm correct, let me just look through here. Yeah, I think let's go into the characters. So I'm gonna go for the background characters first. So BG characters, boom, here we go. So I don't know how many people noticed all the characters. Will increasing only RAM boost performance? Yes. But you gotta be careful with your RAM. If you're gonna, if you're gonna be upgrading your RAM, make sure you keep it balanced, like, cause like I did it once on an old laptop where I had one stick of 8 gig of RAM, and I couldn't afford another stick of 8 gig of RAM, so I thought, fuck, screw it, I'll buy a 4 gig stick and stick that in. So I had 12 gigs of RAM, but your RAM actually tends to work a little bit slower if you have 2 different sizes than if you have 2 the same size. So yeah, upgrading your RAM will definitely boost your performance because it'll just allow you to have more stuff in the scene or whatever. But it's more VRAM that you want to. If you want to boost your Blender, you want to play with the VRAM. That's the biggest one. But also, Blender has some features in it that you can make a scene work a bit faster for you. So in render settings here, you got simplify. If you check that, you then get options to reduce, so like your texture limit. So if you have 4K textures everywhere in the scene, it's going to run really slow because those 4K textures are going to eat up your VRAM. So you want to come in here, change the limit to that just while you're working in the scene, but just remember to uncheck here when you do your final render. And you can also make, like here, max subdivisions of something is 6. There's a lot you can play around with here. The max particles, the max bounces, volume, all this kind of stuff. This can really help you out. This helps me out every time I do a scene because I usually go crazy with textures. Tobias, Chris, you are what you eat. So when you drink that, you'll become a monster. I do get it, and I'm not just gonna become any monster. I'm gonna become, I don't know if you see it, a juiced monster. It says juiced, so I'll become juiced, monstrously juiced. Picro, you only have 16 gigs and it sucks. Well, yeah, if you go up to 32 gigs, you'll definitely notice an increase in performance, but it's not going to be anywhere near as big as if you update, say, your graphics card or something like that. Again, it's all about balancing out, like, what's better for you. A chemical fruit monster. Chris equals spore. Oh, simplify. I didn't know that. You're welcome. Glad I could help you out. Shrekin. I have run Blender on a Chromebook before. Yeah, you can run Blender on a lot of stuff, but whether you can work in it, that's a different story. But there are lots of things to make. I don't know. I wonder if I could think of any other things you can do just to boost your performance. Definitely working with collections. Working with collections is a massive help because you can just uncheck them, and then they're not going to be calculated in the scene. So that's definitely another way to do it. So then you can focus on other things. And I'll actually give you another tip for working on big scenes later on when we get to like particles of this rock, because I couldn't. So it is just the particles here are just a particle system, but there's 500,000 particles. So obviously I couldn't like test it out here. I had to do it a different way. So I'll show you later on. And delete unused materials. So if I go here, you go up to File, Clean Up, Unused Data Blocks. To be honest, I've probably got some. So let's see. Oh no, I've got no unused data blocks right now, so that's fine. But I've come in here and sometimes you've got like 200 data blocks that need to be deleted. So that's just like purging your memory in other softwares, but it'll clean up the whole file and get rid of any of that stuff. So yeah, that's a good tip. Okay, it's getting less weird to look at you. Yeah, so a lot of guys here we're all usually chatting in the William Landgren Discord, and we usually only ever hear each other. So when you get to see each other, it's really strange. But it's okay. It's not a bad face, Andre. I do say so for myself. Okay, anyway, getting on to background characters. Now, there's quite a few characters here, so I'll go for ones that are quite obvious in the render. So you've got... actually, I'm gonna hide a bunch of the background stuff just to make it a bit faster. Definitely gonna hide the dragon. Okay. I'm gonna hide this and bring back the landscapes because this looks better. It's going slow. Oh no. It's like the highlight of the day when you see someone's face on the Discord. Okay, so we got Krillin, and he is from that random. Oh, he has got some issues with his model because, well, it makes sense because he's wasn't designed to be animated in Mixamo, and that's what he was done. That's what I did to him. So I guess I broke his face a little bit. But it's fine. So this is him, and this is Android 18. Now, my story behind the scene is that it's set around about the time of Dragon Ball Super, which I understand most people probably haven't seen. But by that time, these two are married, and they have a kid, somehow. Androids can have kids. I dig it. I remember Asher Dupree turned on his face cam. Okay, let's not get into that. It's Grandman. Oh, hey Grandman. How's it going, bro? Thanks for joining in. Yeah, so the story at the point where I created this scene was that they are married. They're about to go and do a big battle somewhere. They have to go to a big tournament, basically. So then Krillin, he's been a police officer for a while. He's not quite as strong as he once was, so this is just him training with Android 18, she's an android, so she's just as strong as she once was. So they're just doing a bit of training in the background. Very simple animation, like nothing crazy going on. And there's like an energy beam somewhere. I don't know where it is. I think I've lost it from this file, but next on to Master Roshi himself, the man, the myth, the legend. Let me just hide his bone structure. Okay, so this was one of the most pain in the ass characters. You can see his glasses on the ground behind him here, because, or the rim of his glasses, I guess, or part of the rim of his glasses. I don't know. A lot, like I say, a lot of these characters were not made to be animated. I think they were made for 3D printing. So I had to do a lot of work kind of breaking the elements down and putting them in a T-pose and then trying to get some kind of animation on them. I just rigged him up with some pretty standard bones. My camera's clean, thanks. Yeah, rigged him up with some standard bones and chucked some noise modifiers on them. Just to have a bit of movement. It's not much, he's barely in the scene, but just having him there, that little bit of movement just creates another little bit of fun for the scene. Yes, so then I'm gonna go to the more obvious characters first. So I'm gonna come over here to my favorite comedy duo. We got Mr. Satan and Majin Buu. Oh, I guess I should probably show you the characters rendered as well. Let me pause it and jump into rendered mode, and I can show you these guys. Let me just quickly check the chat. How's everyone doing? Do you know how I can... What's this fill? Do you know how I can keep the textures on my model after rigging and animating it with Mixamo? So yeah, I came into this issue a lot with this scene, because 90% of the characters here I had to either take to Mixamo or animate by hand in Blender myself. And I think most of them that is what I just did. So, okay, a tip for going to Mixamo and keeping the textures. Just duplicate the model, export that one. So if I duplicate her, oh shit, there's some craziness going on. If I duplicate her, bring her into Mixamo, export that one, take it into Mixamo, get the animation, bring that one back in, which will have no textures, and then just line it up with the T-posed other one and just apply armature. Or you can use, like, I think most of these were GLTF files, so they either had the textures pre-applied or the textures were in the file and I just had to drop them onto the various, like, yeah, like here, eyes, sleeves, face. It's all usually labeled quite easily. So yeah, that's probably the best way to go about it, is just, yeah, duplicate the model and then reapply that model to a mesh. An easy way to do that is to use, or maybe, nah, I would just do that. Just bring it back in, put the Mixamo armature into T-pose, line up your character in a T-pose with it, and then just apply the parenting again. Again, if you need any help, just jump in the voice chat and ask. We will help you. Man, your camera is so clean. Thank you. When you export the FBX, you have to copy the path. Oh, there you go. Victor Zhu. Victor has answered. There's another one. There's another way to do it. When you export the FBX, you have to copy the path. Oh yeah, you have to make... So like, yes, I think what you're saying is when you go File, Export as FBX, you have the path mode here. So you have to change this to copy, and then select this box. Boom. And then it's gonna take... It should, in theory, takes the textures with it. And obviously go selected objects and then export it. Yeah, so, okay, that's those two. Master Roshi, just chilling here with his shell and his stick. It's kind of like the Yoda of the scene, really. But again, they're very, classic anime looking. Got all the hard lines on them and stuff, which is... I'm so happy I was able to merge both of these kind of styles, like slight realism with these anime cartoon characters. Okay, so now we have my two favorite characters in Dragon Ball Z, Majin Buu and Mr. Goddamn Satan with his crazy face. Look how focused he is. He's so focused. It's crazy. So just check the chat again, guys. Oh, Why are they floating though? They floating because the grass was so big, the grass was so thick that I couldn't really have them just stand on the ground. But it's fine. Like the grass, I wanted the grass to be big and thick, so I didn't have to put quite as many particles down. There's still a lot, but they're all just slightly above the ground, so it looked a bit better, so you could see them. We modeled all the characters. Yes? No. No, I did not model any of these characters. That's not my forte. I like to build scenes. So I'll find as many assets as I can online and just bring them together and animate them, because that's a massive process in and of itself. Okay, that's someone else telling you they were downloaded. Okay. Triple. Control L. Object materials. Yes. Yes. Good. Yeah. You're good at explaining. Thank you. Quickest way of applying the same texture. Oh, okay. Whoa. What UVC you in? What? Lonely Traveler. What UVC you in? Please explain. Me so confused. Yeah, if you're asking what VC, it's the same one that you're in. Lonely Traveler. You crazy motherfucker. Yeah. Lonely Traveler was in there today. I don't know why he's asking this. But yeah, William Landgren, his little Discord server over there. Come and hang out. It's cool. So yeah, these guys. Majin Buu here was one of the ones I had a lot of issues with because he was just one static mesh. Really, and he was posed, and it was kind of a nightmare. So I had to stick a. I literally just stuck 3 bones. Yeah, his hands were, I think, were already up here. I just chuck this in, give him a little side-to-side animation with the head and that, and then I use shape keys on his tongue to animate it, so he's just going like Majin Buu would do. Uh-oh. Okay, something was going weird there. I couldn't pause it. And yeah, I found this was originally a Mixamo animation that I just kind of edit the arms of. It was just like training. Because Mr. Satan thinks he's so cool and so damn good. And I kind of wish he was. I wish he was stronger than he is. What VC are you in? Lol. Usually Mothball. Oh yeah. Usually Mothball. Okay. Anyway. That's those 2 characters. Now we're going to get on to the other slightly more hidden characters of the scene. One being goddamn Piccolo, because of course if I'm going to do Dragon Ball Z, I've got to have Piccolo in there somewhere. So Piccolo's just sitting here, meditating, and he's got these rock particles going around him. Yeah, because of course Piccolo would be meditating. He's just into that. So into that. Okay, I'm not reading that. Yeah, I wanted to find one of the classic Piccolo with his white hat and his jacket stuff, but I couldn't find it. And then just after I submitted it, I was like, no, I should have had like a stick at the side, or with them on it, with his hat and stuff on it, or his shoulder pads and stuff, but it's okay. But he's just chilling up here, meditating. I don't know how noticeable he is. Yeah, he's pretty small. I don't think many people would notice him. But yep, and again, I just found him online and kind of rigged him just to put him in this pose because he was in T-pose. And just animated him with a noise modifier going up and down. And then did a couple of particle systems around him using some... I think I used a turbulence modifier, a turbulence force field, and a something else. I can't remember which one. Definitely turbulence and another one. Can't remember. Okay. Anyway, so these are the main ones you notice, but there is one more character here. I want to point out. I don't know if many people have noticed, but I do have Yachirobe climbing up a goddamn ladder. I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but it works. Yachirobe lives up here. For those who don't know Dragon Ball Z, he's just a cool little guy. That's him just going up the ladder. It was noticeable on my zoomed in Insta posts. Yeah, cool. Can you show one or some of your favorite add-ons? Yeah, I'll get there. Let me get through this little breakdown, and then I'll get to like just some Blender stuff. Yachirobe, he's so focused on these stairs. But yeah, he was there in the background as well, just climbing up his ladder, going home after dropping some sensu beans off to Goku. Speaking of Goku, Speaking of Goku, let's have a look now at my foreground characters. So, is that all I needed to do for the background? I think so. Yeah, let's check the foreground characters. I'm going to turn off the background characters just now so that I can preview the animations a bit better. Characters, here we go. Oh, Bulma is sitting on her thing, which is here. There we go. Nope. Oh, that's background characters. This one. Okay, yeah, so obviously we got Goku here. Oh, let me turn on his rope. Goku right here with a bunch of rope, like reasonably high poly rope actually. But that's all using modifiers from a Blender. Just watched a Blender Guru tutorial on making rope. It's really simple and easy. Also suggest some of the courses to take in Blender. Yeah, definitely. We'll get there. Creative Shrimp courses. Can't go wrong. Sounds good. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there in a bit. So, yeah. I initially had some issues with my first test of this. When I checked it against the reference, my character was much farther ahead by the end of the animation than he was at the beginning. Maybe I can... Is there anything else I can hide? Not really. It's just so much animated here. Yeah, so at the end he was like a foot further forward or further back than he should have been, so I had to... Then I grabbed an empty and I put it around him and moved him backwards as he was moving forwards. So it ended up matching, otherwise I would not have been allowed to compete in this competition. Yep, so again, we got Goku. These are all pretty much the same style models, some anime models, low poly, that I've retextured in some bits. Like his trousers here, it's actually like a texture on it. Didn't go too crazy with fixing where it was or that. Then we got Goku himself, just super concentrated on pulling this goddamn rock. One thing I will say is that every single character in the foreground that should have hair does have hair. They all have particle systems for hair. I went pretty full on, just trying to make, because it looks so flat here. It just looks so flat and the lighting doesn't catch it right, but with some hair, it's got something, it just looks like a bit more, a little bit better. You don't get any of those harsh reflections or anything like that. But I did that for every character here that has hair, so we'll get to that. So we got Goku, we got obviously Vegeta here, also with his hair. Boom, he's got some hair as well. And he is just doing a mixamo, like workout stretching animation, just getting ready, because it's hers. My idea was that Goku's finishing off his bit of training, so now Vegeta's getting ready to go and take his turn at pulling the rock, because that's a great way to train. Creative Shrimp, you can't go wrong. The hair's really a really nice touch. Yeah, cool, thanks. Yes, so we got Vegeta and Goku, and then we have classic character Bulma. Oh yes, it's Bulma, who also, again, you know what I'm gonna say, she got hair. She got loads of hair, which you can really make it out in the final render. If I pull this up, if I come to, just go back a little bit. Yeah, so like right here, you can see this is what was nice about having just chucking a bunch of hair on these characters. Is just you're gonna get this extra nice little light coming, almost like subsurface. on the hair. Even here you get some just, I don't know, it just looks better. Yeah, so anyway, boom, there we go, I'm back. Okay, so yeah, she was another one that was kind of tough to rig up. I did manage to rig her. I can't see her armature though, but I had to hand animate her because there was just no way of finding a decent animation for her sitting here. Initially I had her flying across the screen, but it was, again, just too much going on. So, and she's just chilling there, and then as Goku comes closer, she just like waves like, "Hey Goku, hello." That was something she did a lot. Like, she always just like, "Hi Goku, hello." So it made sense. Made sense just to have her there. Okay, let's go on to probably the hardest character of this whole goddamn thing. This guy. Beerus. Not Beerus, what's his name? Whis. His hand's up here for a reason, which we'll get to a bit later on. So his model was 100% for 3D printing, and was not supposed to be broken up into separate elements or anything like that. So you can kind of tell over here, I had to patch up a little bit where his hand was actually behind him and attached to him because it was all one mesh. This is the bit I had to clean up here. And then he had no textures, so I had to go through and let me just go into rendered mode. I had to go through and separate all the individual bits that were going to have individual textures on them, separate them off, or I guess I probably could have just done it with by assigning them to different texture, different parts anyway. Oh look, yeah, I just noticed his hand is the wrong color. And then I had to retexture them, so you can actually, if I go up here, you can see the texture on his hand. He also has hair, I believe. Yes, he does. It's not quite as noticeable, but yeah, he's got hair. A little bit of surface scattering, so I get this nice touch on the ears. Yeah, he was quite difficult because I couldn't animate his head. It just wasn't accepting an armature, so I had to go in and create shape keys for his head animation, just so he kind of looks around. He's usually a stiff character anyway, but yeah, the hairs have hair. I've literally just gone mental and lost my mind and put hair on hair. Yeah, so he's holding a pizza. These guys love food. Every time they come, Bulma brings them a lot of food, so that's why Bulma's here, and he's eating, and he's got a pizza in his hand. He's like, yum, and then just kind of looks back down at him, and then just kind of looking around. I just put a noise modifier on the shape keys, if I can find them. Yeah, shape keys of the head, so they're just kind of randomly animating to just get a little bit of coolness about it. And then we have Beerus himself, who initially was just kind of sitting at the table looking around, and then I decided, no, he needs to be actually inspired by Victor, if he's still here. Victor Zhu, thanks for saying that Beerus should be like eating like crazy, because in Dragon Ball Z they're always nom 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 nom, just chucking loads of stuff into their mouth. So yeah, that's what I did. I ended up just hand animating him like nom 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 nom. Chuck the noise modifier on his body and his neck so that he's not just in one position, and then put a bunch of noise modifiers on his tail and offset them so that they kind of look a bit taily, a little bit, a bit janky, but hey, that's what I'm doing, huh? There's hair on the hair, and they're eating air, which is quite rare. Fucking hell, you guys is crazy, man. Yep, and he was probably one of my favorite looking characters after I put some subsurface scatter on him, because he's got these giant ears. These giant, beautiful ears. Oh, look at it. It's just so satisfying. Something satisfying about subsurface scattering. Yeah, so that was all these guys, Goku, and then we got the kids. So I really wanted to have Trunks and Goten in the scene, but I couldn't find a Goten model, so this is literally Goku from Dragon Ball, the original series. He did originally have a tail, which I had to chop off. I know, I'm evil, so what? And a stick, but it works, because Goten, maybe I've got his name wrong. He basically looks like him anyway. Oh yeah, it's Goten. Yeah, and then just just went to Mixamo and grabbed a couple animations, and they're just hanging out, watching their dads at work. Probably gonna do some fusion later on. Who knows? Yeah. So that's all the main characters. So obviously, just having characters here is kind of it's not great. You need to have something else. Like, obviously, Beerus is eating off the table, so let's grab the table. Boom. This, I put probably way too much effort into. Yeah, I definitely did. Okay, let me solo this for a minute. Dun, dun, do, do, do. Oh, jeez. Okay. So, here's the pizza. This is... If Rico's still here, Rico, this is your pizza, bro. That you used for another render. Yeah, so there's the pizza he's sniffing. We got some noodles here. That is literally just an image texture with some displacement, and then the image texture placed into bump. Whole heap of stacks of plates because they eat like animals in Dragon Ball Z. Got a ramen noodle pot that I made. Just obviously they love ramen. Here's some like, can't remember what these are called. Steamed dough balls or something like that. Steamed balls. I don't know. Something like that. Some chicken legs or turkey legs or something. We got some little photo scanned like dim sum or something like that. Some kind of salady thing. And yeah, I kind of went to town. I absolutely went to town. Oh, does he have hair? Does who have hair? Phil. All the characters have hair. The Goten and Trunks both have hair as well. I'll go back and show you in a minute. So yeah, I had a bunch of stuff. Really went to town with making some actual geometry, because nothing looks like geometry These are just on some kind of modifiers. And then I was like, right, well, they're really messy eaters in Dragon Ball Z. They're eating so fast, like I have to have some particles. So I had to have some particles coming off at either side. And it all kind of came together pretty well. So, and then, yeah, a little cloth sim on the tablecloth. Just a little bit with a light bit of movement. There's a little glitch going on here, but it's not noticeable in the final render. And here's all the particles flying off. Yeah, you can see them all as he eats. Nom 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 nom. Nice and crazy. Yeah, so bring it all together. We got... I'll probably just show you this and I'll jump into After Effects and show you a little bit of color grading and stuff that I've done. So yeah, starting off we got... God, everything's gonna go so slow to load up. Is it an array for the chicken? Yes, the circle of chicken was just I'll go back to, where is it, table. Like, honestly, as I'm going, if you want to know something specific, just shout, like, say something, and I will try and get to there. Steamed buns, that's the one, triple, steamed buns. Yeah, so these are on, let's have a look. Obviously decimated first because they were high poly. Yeah, array modifier, and they're set to fit curve, so there's a curve there. I think you can kind of just see it, yeah. Yeah, so here we go. So just on fit curve, so the bigger the curve gets, the more chicken there is. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. Just an array modifier and a curve modifier. And then I just duplicated it, moved it up, and scaled it down, and then just chucked 4 solitary ones on the top. Made a bunch of chopsticks and just placed them randomly around. Yeah. Oh, there is something. I'll get to the particles down here next. But on top of this, I added some, just to make it more like there's actual hot food there. I just wanted to chuck some steam. So if I go to effects, does it change everything if you apply decimate? So yeah, if you apply the decimate, it's destructive. So I wasn't sure if later on maybe I'd want to bring them back to high poly or not. So it just, yeah, it's non-destructive if you don't use it. So yeah. For the viewport performance, oh, does it change anything for the viewport performance if you apply it? That, I don't know. I haven't tested that out yet, so I wouldn't be sure. But yeah, here's just a little bit of steam I brought in just on everything, so it looks like there's some actual hot food here. It's a nice, again, just subtle little touches to build a lot. Get rid of these effects. Okay, let's bring everything back together. So we've got the landscape. We've got the water. We got the rock on land. We got Planet Kai. We've got Capsule Corp. Woohoo! We've got Shenron. We've got the background characters. Boom. We got some clouds. We got lookout, Kami's lookout. We got the rope for Goku. We've got, what else we got? I think that's pretty much it, except for Bulma's vehicle and all of the foreground characters. And it all comes together to look like this whenever it decides to load. Okay, before I go into After Effects, I will show you like how I went about doing like this particle simulation down here. But yeah, this is it, and then obviously if I bring in, this is not going to be healthy from a computer, but yeah, chuck in the grass, and the grass is on everything else as well, and then the rocks. Oh, I missed a character. I just realized I missed the fucking most foreground character of the whole animation. Captain, goddamn, Ginyu. Bim, bim, bim. I mean, people probably noticed it on the Instagram after I posted the blown up photo, but I don't think most people would have noticed Captain Ginyu here. So this is a character that from early on Dragon Ball Z who gets turned into a frog, and then he just is there forever. Like he's in every season. He's in a lot of episodes, like not every episode, but he's there. And I hand animated him just to be kind of like as Goku comes past, he kind of stands up. I could probably just show you in the breakdown. Yeah, so if you watch here, just kind of stands up a little bit and then moves over. Yeah, just another little Easter egg there. So everyone in the scene is an actual character. They're there for a reason. And that makes it better than just randomly throwing people together. You know, that's one thing I would say is to really think about what you've got going on. So for me, these two guys came here to tell Goku and Vegeta that they need to go and fight in a tournament, and that they need a team of guys. So we've got Majin Buu coming to join the team. Satan wants to join the team, but he's just going to come and watch because he's Majin Buu's best mate. Piccolo is training, he's meditating for it. Master Roshi is just chilling, watching everything going on. Shenron has been summoned by some characters, background characters that we don't have in the scene, basically. There's no Dragon Balls in the scene. Someone asked me today, why is there no Dragon Balls? And I said, because Shenron is being summoned. He can only be summoned when all Dragon Balls are together. So they're over there, the Dragon Balls. They're in the scene, they're just not visible. Yeah. And then I guess the only thing that I have to add is to talk about, Blender wise, would be the particle system here. If it lets me turn it on. Yeah, so I mean you can see straight away there's a lot of particles here. This was a 500,000 particle. Oh, I dropped it to 300,000. There you go. 300,000 particle simulation. Just to give that nice detail of the rock being pushed. I tried many ways of trying to get it to work. I tried dynamic paint. In fact, I think dynamic paint is still on. I think it is displacing as it goes across. Maybe not. Maybe I turned it off. I can't really remember. So obviously I couldn't run a particle simulation in this scene because it's such a big scene. So if you do come into these problems and you can't, your scene's too big, even when you hide a bunch of stuff, things are going slow and that chugging, just open up a new scene. Open up a new scene. I just opened a new scene, grabbed the ground plane, grabbed the rock, and the camera, and then brought them in. You can just Control C to copy them in here, and Control V in a new project to paste them in. They'll be exactly the same place. They'll have all the keyframes. And then I just basically made this little shaped thing. It's not parented anymore, but the particles still work for some reason. Just to the form of the bottom of the rock, and then just had it coming along, just with the rock, and just spitting out particles. Yeah, that was really quite simple, but it took quite a while to bake when I brought it back into the scene, because there's so much else going on. And is there anything else you want to know about the scene before I jump into After Effects? If anyone has any questions. Damn, your storytelling in the scene is pretty solid. Wish there was a place to provide a 2-sentence storyline. But then again, with thousands of submissions, yeah. I'm gonna... If I find the time, so I do have a job right now, but if I find the time, I might do a longer, like the Bangimation cut, if you would. I'm gonna maybe make a slightly, like a double the length version, and do some proper sound design inside it. Because I wanted to have Vegeta saying something. I've got sound design written out for it that I want to happen. So I might end up re-rendering it, making a longer version, or just like render an extra 150 frames, and do something like that. But I'll have to work out how to continue the animation of Goku. Yeah. But thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Release the Bangimation cut. For sure. Maybe. It will happen. I'll have to get a big following and give me a shit ton of money and I'll do it. I'll make a whole movie. Yes, is there anything anyone else would like to know about the scene whilst I'm still here? Sporka. You guys is crazy. Yeah, any questions, or shall I just move on? I think I'll just move on. I can come back to this. Okay, so let's close this. And now I'm gonna have to... I just realized I don't have a... Let me start opening After Effects. I'll have to add it in as a window capture. Hey, there we go. Boom. After Effects, perfect. Sweet. Boom. By the way, are you guys getting the music? I've put some music here, and I don't know if you're getting it or not. Yeah, you're getting it. Sweet. Let me just check. Is it too loud? No. Oh yeah, nice. Cool. Chilling music. Okay, so let's go into my final comp. So this was the raw render straight out of After Effects. Blender, sorry. I just realized I forgot to talk about dust here. That is just an image texture or video file from VFX, actionvfx.com. They have a bunch of free stuff. And I just chucked it in here. I was kind of lucky because I managed to get one that somehow... Huh? It's not playing. Oh, wait. Okay, it's gonna load into the RAM. Yeah, I managed to get one that actually seems to look like anime, like... yeah, like anime dust. Oh, here you go. This is what originally this looked like. The beam of light shooting up. You'll see it better when when it loads up properly. It's doing this weird thing it does when it just loads to there and then gives up. Okay. Let me just clean the cache. Try this again. There's nothing. There's 139 megabytes. Okay. That's why it's not working. Oh, why is it? Okay. Let's try and load this into the RAM. The comp isn't showing. Oh, yeah. Why is that? Why would that be? Maybe I have to add another... maybe I can edit that properties. That should be working. Okay, I'm just gonna do this and then bring it underneath my camera. Hey, hello. Okay, this will be how we have to do it. Let me just turn that off. Okay. So, yeah. We have the lightning coming in. Boom. Happens really quick. Boom, and then this portal thing opens up. This is the Ion Engine asset I've got. And it just looked so accurate to what I wanted it to look like. I'm just gonna let this load into the RAM for now. How is everyone doing anyway? You guys good? Who we got in here? A special guest tonight. Ah, it's done this thing again. I don't like it. I don't like it when it does this random thing. Don't know why it's doing this. What? I don't understand. It does this often. Okay, hopefully that'll just now load into RAM. Oh yeah, Ollie, you're doing your plague doctor. It's done it again. If anyone knows why it does this, please let me know. This is kind of weird. Yeah, I don't understand. No, yo entiendo. Load, load, load. Don't you dare stop. Keep going. You son of a bitch. I mean, I was quite happy with the look of this straight out of Blender. I could have done some comp in Blender. Why? Yeah, I just have to wait for the comp to load. Yeah, but Victor, look. It's loaded this bit, and then if I come to here to let it load, it's gonna do a little bit. It'll stop like here, and then it'll just start playing again, and it won't try to do this last bit. I don't understand why it does this. I do not understand. It is very confusing. Do you often use grain? No. No, I don't. I don't think I put any grain in this scene. Or maybe I did. We'll find out when I look at the comp. Yeah, it's still not loading this bit. Doesn't like it. Cached preview needs 2 or more frames to play back. There's plenty of frames there. Maybe something to do with the adaptive resolution I'm using. Actually, I think it might be that. I don't want to play around with this stuff though. Maybe quit Blender. Yeah, I might have to do that. Wait, I have quit Blender. Blender's gone. It's shut down. Yeah, man. Let me see. I mean, it doesn't really matter anyway. You don't need to see the end. I just wanted to show you this kind of first bit. This, yeah. And I think that looked a lot cooler. Like, I wanted to have, like, yeah, the way Shenron comes up there. You can see all the lightning. I think that looked great. I was really happy with it. But then, it just didn't make it past the effects that I put on. So, I'll go into a little detail. Random question. How old are you again? Piss off. That's what you get. Come and try to ask stupid questions. You never ask a lady how old she is. Anyway. We have some stuff too that I overlaid. Right, okay, what we got here? This is something. Nothing. Okay, here, oh yeah, that's just, okay, that wasn't included. That's the volume. That was not included. What the fuck is this? Where the hell is this coming from? Hi, I'm a Korean teen new to Reddit. I've been teaching myself how to use Blender for... Wait. Trending on Reddit? What the fuck? Sus! Oh, God. Right, okay. Moving onwards. Yes, ignore what that... So here's a little bit of... just some mistiness, I guess. What's here? What is on this? Oh, no, this... What is this? What is this layer? Oh, it's just like a depth pass or a mist pass. Just to bring out a little bit of that background. And then on top of that, we have the emission, boom, for the ion engine that I have slapped on top of it. I have chucked the shine. So then shine just gives you this, yeah, like god rays from whatever you kind of set it through. Yeah. Hey guys, it's just a something recommended to me on just something that was recommended to me on through Firefox or some kind of bullshit like that. Ain't my problem, ain't my fault. That's my problem, but it's not my fault. So yeah, so we got shine from whatever they're called, red giant shine, just to bring this nice little bit of god rays, which is underneath. Oh yeah, so this is another shine. So with this one, if I turn off that last one, with this one I actually went in and used the, so you got all these dark and light ones coming off of everything. It's very kind of classic Dragon Ball or anime style. Which I think if I go a couple more frames, you'll see why it looks like that. Yeah. So what I did was I took the mist pass and put shine. If I go to that, this was the mist pass that I've just kind of played around with, inverted it. So it was originally like this. It doesn't look so good, but if I invert it, you get craziness. So I just put a shine on that, so you get all these black, dark, like cool looking streaks. Is shine built into After Effects? No, it's Red Giant. So I've got like the Red Giant suite. In effects, it's shine. Red Giant. Sorry, it's trap code. Yeah, Red Giant trap code. It's in there. Anyone else? Okay, pick it up. Thanks. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I wanted to have this like classic anime style look going on. So then on top of that, I put another version of this emission. So if I turn that shine back on, boom. So I put another version of this and overlaid it on top of this one. So then you get this really nice long things, and everything looks like it's been blasted out of light by this being so bright. I don't know, it just works, and it looks very much like a Dragon Ball Z kind of scene. Yeah, I was really happy with how that turned out. Okay, so we got that, and then if I come back to here before it happens, we've got the actual mist pass. Again, just adding more depth to these bits. I believe I might have put a fractal noise. Oh no, I did, but I guess I turned it off. Yeah, so I put some noise in it, but I wasn't really happy with it. It looked a bit weird. So then I just took that off for the final. And I'll export. Above that is the actual mist pass. And then we come to the color grading. So again, I used shine, but just to add some, like, it's really very little, very small amount of yeah, I've already submitted Grandman. Yeah, so here this is shine again, and I've put the point that it's shining from away up here on the corner, so that everything was just shining down, and here you can't really make it out too well. So if I solo this, will I be able to see it? No, you won't. Okay, doesn't matter then. Yes, there's just, it's a very small touch, doesn't really add too much. And then we've added some Lumetri color, just played around with that a little bit, and pulled out all the brightness, all the colors. It's anime, so it has to be really colorful. Oh, 16 people, this is great. But so now it's coming into the issue of my grass. Is much more, it's got much more saturation than these trees. So you're getting these two different colors of green going on. There's some kind of green going on over here as well with the light. It just kind of looks rough. And then obviously you've got the frog as well, who's another shade of green, and it just doesn't match. So we chucked on the selective color and just evened that all out, brought down the saturation a little bit, evened it all out, brightened up the clouds a lot. Yeah, it really kind of started to come together here. The only issue I'm having now which I will get to shortly, is that the lightning is now just not visible. It's the same, it's just as bright here as it is on the lightning, which is a bit of an issue. And then, did I add this? I don't know if I added this in the final. Just some noise, a little bit of noise. A grain, I guess, if you would. If I go to full resolution. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about the hairs. I did put hair particles on all of these ropes as well. This, you can't see them so much on these, but they're there. And they're all up and down here and all on this knot. Again, just giving a lot more realism to the rope itself. Patreon. Your Patreon receipt is here. Oh, I've just paid Ian Hubert some money. That's nice. Let's look at the noise. Is there noise? Did that really do anything? Okay, it's a tiny amount of... You can kind of see it if I zoom in here. If I take it off. Yeah, there we go. Off and on. I got a feeling I just left it off for the final. Yeah. But I've got a feeling this is not... I've got a feeling I might be missing something here. Oh, no, I'm not. That was it. Yeah, now the colours are balanced. The light looks good. The lighting seems to be making his legs look a little bit more like an anime style or animation style, cartoony. But then you've got very nice, like, realistic kind of rocks, almost realistic grass, trees, kind of all this stuff kind of added together. And then I realized the lightning was way, way out. Like, you just can't see it, and you just didn't notice it. And that was sad, made me sad. So, if I just jump forward a tiny bit, a couple frames. Okay, here we go. Pull it up here. So here's the lightning. So I had to play around with it a little bit. So I used the shift channels, which didn't do too much. I added a glow, so now it's glowing a little bit. You can't see that too much. Then I added vibrance. VC vibrance. Is this on? I've not even turned it on. There we go. Now you can see it. So yeah. Shift channels just to bring, so you can see it actually. And then a glow. Hold on a second. Ain't you got some low vibe music? Oh wait, you do. I just had it low. Okay, man. Okay, so we got VC color vibrance just to bring some more color back to it. So now it looks good. Now it's overlaid over the clouds. You can actually see it looking good. Added a little shine to it. Actually, I've got a feeling I turned that off because that looks terrible. Yeah, I think I left it off at the end. I think I was just playing with it, and then some levels stuff, just playing around with it again. So now you can see it. It's not so bright, but it kind of works pretty well. And yeah, that's pretty much all the post processing I did on it. I rendered everything as EXRs so that they contained all of the information I wanted them to contain. But I mean, you can see the size of the files. Some of these are from when I tried to do it I tried rendering it with a separate foreground as one layer, background as another, clouds as a different one, emission as another one. Separate PNG sequences, but it didn't really work out too well. So I just then went again and did it as an EXR. So everything's contained within that one EXR, and it's 29 gigs, a lot less than having 10 different ones of 7 gigs. Yeah, so that's pretty much all the posts that I did on that. I'm super happy with the outcome. I'm overwhelmed by the response I got online. I think I'm sitting at like over 3,500 views now. Mind blowing. Like, I didn't expect it to take off quite as much, but it just shows you Dragon Ball Z is it's for nerds, you know. Like, we're not nerds. I love it. It's something I grew up with, so it's kind of built into my soul a little bit, and I think it resonates with a lot of people. But also, you know, challenges like this, big community challenges like this, where you got thousands of people competing, are yeah, 7 gigabytes. Oh, I should say it's all rendered at 4K. Yeah, that's why it's 7 gigs. It's all 4K. Yeah, so that's what I was saying about the challenge. Yeah, so like, this to me represents this challenge so well. Like, Goku, his personality and stuff in Dragon Ball Z is just so He's so sure of himself. He never backs down for a challenge. He never like compares himself to other people. He just wants to get better or get stronger. He just wants to keep pushing himself and kind of, you know, fight through any of the obstacles that kind of come in his way. So I thought Goku just dragging a rock around is just a perfect thing to sum up this challenge in general. And then from there, my mind just went crazy. I was like, yeah, okay, I can add this person, I can add this person. Like a whole story formed in my mind. And yeah, I'm super happy with it. Like, I don't really care if I win or not. It's not the point. For me, I'm a winner already in my own eyes because it got such a good reaction online. And that to me is that's what counts. Like, that's all I care about. Obviously it'd be nice if I make the top 100. I'll be more than happy. But there's some really good competition out there. So many damn good renders out there. It'll be really interesting to see what happens on Saturday with the live stream. I'm super excited for it. Okay, so this has gone quite quick. So I guess what have we got? 2 hours now. Okay, I'm gonna just get a quick toilet break, and then I'll jump into Blender and just start playing around, and I'll show you some really handy add-ons and some stuff to do, and yeah, we'll see. And you guys can show me or ask me how to do this, how to do that, you know, whatever you want. Let's do it. I'll give it another, yeah, I'll take a quick toilet break, come back, and yeah, we'll get on with that. Okay, see you soon.